What's going on, folks? It's Dito D. I want to touch on something that quite a few people know about, but it seems like quite a few people don't know about. And that is the upcoming Toxic Avenger movie. Now, I don't know a whole lot about what's going on with the movie. I just know who's in the movie as the Toxic Avenger. And it's really well, if you're familiar with the Toxic Avenger, you know this is a gigantic mutant man teenager that basically gets revenge on his bullies, right? After a a toxic incident. I grew up on these movies. I grew up on Troma. I really loved them. I mean, when I first started watching them, I knew off the top that I probably wasn't supposed to be watching that shit, but I was, and I was enjoying it. It led me to other things like Nukem High and stuff like that. There's other Troma movies, but Nukem High was always the other favorite. I actually like Nukem High more than Toxic Avenger. And the last Nukem High movie I thought was really good. They were supposed to do a sequel. I don't know what happened to that. I like the two girls that they had. Of course, they made the movie about two girls because the movies were always about relationships, and this last one happened to be about two girls. Of course, that's going with the times. I thought it was pretty well done, and I liked seeing Lloyd Kaufman back in his bag. Now, I didn't know until I seen Lloyd, I think, in one of the Guardian movies, Guardians of the Galaxies, that James Gunn used to work on these movies. And this is pretty much where he came from. And I'm thinking, why didn't he work on this one? Why is he doing Superman instead of working on this Toxic Avenger? Besides that, that's not the thing that really caught my attention about this. What's really getting to me is the fact that they chose. Okay, now look, here I'm gonna show you a picture right now of the Toxic Avenger. This is the Toxic Avenger. The only person I've ever seen fight the Toxic Avenger and survive was Michael Jai White. Okay? And that was awesome. Because, I mean, the Toxic Avenger is cold blooded. I mean, he smashed a dude up into a basket. He balled a guy up and bounced him around, dribbled him around like a basketball, and slam dunked him. Okay? This dude is stupidly overpowered. But it's just amazing to me that in 2025, they bringing the character back and they're choosing to use Peter Dinklage. Yeah, that Peter Dinklage. Yes. The one from Game of Thrones. The one from Pixels. Okay. I don't. This is a major, twist on the character. He walking around with this scepter. He slapped this dude's jaw off in the trailer. It was the craziest looking thing. It was totally Troma, okay? Because Troma is just one of those deranged type of movie production. It's just insane. All right. If you're not familiar, you're gonna become familiar. But I advise you to become familiar with some of the earlier stuff. And I think you should start with Nukem High. Class of Nukem High. The first one, then do Return to Nukem High. And then I believe there's a third one before you get to the one with the girls. But the one with the girls is good. Because there's a scene where they slap this dude out of his wheelchair and started stomping on his arms. Okay? It was the most hilarious shit. I'm not going to, you got to see it for yourself. But they bringing this stuff back. And I want it to turn into a whole big series, Now, Troma is in New Jersey, I believe. That's Troma's New Jersey. And Troma's all jacked up. What it is it's a town where they got this big nuclear reactor, right? That's how they power the town. But this thing is leaking all over the place, all right? So it's just like toxic waste everywhere. And then it starts to affect things, the animals, the people. In Nukem High, the kids end up drinking it, whatever. They get it and they become cretins. And it's just the best, bro. It's the best. I love the Troma stuff, okay? But they've been talking about bringing Toxic Avenger back for a long time. think they were talking about doing part 5 or something like that. Unless part 5 is out and they were supposed to do part 6. But they've gone ahead and just redone the whole thing. And they're doing it with Peter Dinklage, bro. They have a small Toxic Avenger running around just messing people up. And I gotta see it. I gotta see it. It's supposed to come out in August. They say it's going to theaters. I want to believe that. I don't think any of these movies have ever gone to theaters unless it was like a small premiere thing, you know? I think the last Nukem High movie had a premiere like that. And that was a special thing because it was coming back. But it's been years since that. And now we're getting this. So I'm hoping that they don't miss. I want it to be a win. I want it to take off and become something again. I like the Troma stuff. I got my fingers crossed for this one. Take a look at the trailer in the description box and see what you think of the movie. Take a look and see what you think. If you're a longtime fan, you're probably going to be pleasantly surprised that this stuff is back. And let me know what you think of them making the Toxic Avenger, the tiny Toxic Avenger now. You guys, thanks for watching. Take it easy.
Who the fuck are you?
Just some dude with a mop!
I'm screaming the